Good evening. Bonsoir. Welcome and thank you very much to be there. First of all, thank you very much to be there for the presentation. I really appreciate it. And yes. Oh, sorry. Yeah. Yeah, I'm not on stage so much. Like that? Yeah. Okay. So I start over. So thanks to everybody to be there. And thanks to be there for the presentation. And thanks also to the DVSA to give me this opportunity. So as you know, my name is Eric Ranveau, and I'm an artist, and especially a fine art artist. So I will start by my background, if you're okay with that. Yeah, I need to follow my schedule because I will be lost if I don't do it like that. So as you recognize maybe. So first of all, I just want to tell you that my English accent is maybe not so good. Okay, maybe it's not so good. Don't hesitate to stop me and to ask me to repeat again. Okay, no problem with that. I can do that. So first of all, I just want to introduce myself as an artist. So I was born in France. And just to give you an idea, if you know France, between Cognac and Bordeaux in the vineyards. So that tells you the reason why. I was born at the middle of the vineyard, and the vineyard means a lot for me. So I start my career. I was born in France, so in 1966. And as an artist, I feel that I'm an artist forever. So I don't know really when I began to drawing. I don't know exactly when I began to hold the brush or something like that. So that's a big part of my life. Okay. And that's also the reason why I live in Canada is, as I was saying before to someone else, it's also the reason why I came to Canada. It's the painting. That's the reason why I live in Canada now. So I did my background in France, and so as Alicia said before, I did my studies first of all in Angoulême. Everything is about fine arts in my studies. Angoulême and also in Paris, France. I did everything like art history, color, perspective, all the academy and things like that. So that's maybe some things that you can see. They look a little bit like academic. So for some part, I will show you some of them. They look very academic, the perspective, the color, and things like that. So to represent the reality, so the figurative. So when I start to paint after my studies, I start to paint in. I do painting exhibitions like that for 35 years now. More than almost between 35 and 40, maybe. That tells you a little bit about my age, 66. And so many exhibitions. And the reason why I start painting as a professional artist and the reason why I start to do exhibitions is something like came by chance because I was not expecting to do art, to do paintings in my life, because I was more I was more focused in this time to become a graphic designer and working for publicity agency and things like that in Paris. But I had an injury. I had an injury for a lot of months. And I didn't know what to do. And so the painting knock at the door. The painting knocked at the door and said, "Oh, Eric, would you like to work with me?" And I said, "Why not? Would you like to be my partner for all your life?" So I became a painter, and I was not so far away. 5 years of art history, doing stuff like perspective and things like that. So it was beside me. I didn't see that so much at the beginning, but came to me like naturally. So after that, I did many exhibitions, and the thing is, I had some not a big success, but I had some success in France. I was selling well and things like that. And one day I met my partner. She's Canadian. So she said, "Hello, I'm Canadian." Okay, good. So I met her during an exhibition, one of mine exhibition. So that's the reason why I said I came to Canada. Because the thing is, I met her during an exhibition. So that's the reason why art is, paintings is so important for me, because that made my life, I should say. Art made my life and built my life. So the thing is, I came in Canada in 2006. I start doing painting over. I left all my paintings in France because it's not easy to travel with paintings, as you know, maybe. Because that's they keep an eye on that, especially the border and the custom. They keep an eye on paintings and things like that, especially things between America and Europe. So I left everything, and so I came back. I don't know even if I brought my brushes. I had nothing, just my suitcase. So I left all my paintings, and I start over in Canada. And I start over in Canada. I did that for a year. I was living. My family-in-law gave me a space to start paintings again in Canada, and so I start my career again over in Canada, because it's a totally different approach than Europe. So the thing is, I did that for a year, and after a year, I just decided to find a gallery, maybe interested by someone who's coming from France, and I went to gallery, and I was there, and I met a guy that maybe you know, I don't know, maybe you heard about him, Canadian. He was famous in the area as an artist. Bill Powell, do you know Bill Powell? Yeah, William Powell. So, and he became my Canadian dad. So I met him, and he said, "Oh, that's interesting." I had my portfolio at the gallery, and he said, "Can I have a look on that?" I said, "Yes." And he said, "Oh, what are you doing with that?" And I said, "Okay, nothing yet. I'm looking for gallery." And he said, "Would you like to become a member of the Tiger Group?" So I became a member of the Tiger Group, and I worked until, unfortunately, Bill passed away. And I was very sad because he was my best friend, and also I was thinking he was also kind of my Canadian dad. So Bill is a big part of my life in Canada. He was my Canadian father. Okay, so the thing is, it was very sad. Yes?
Why do you say it's a different approach in Canada than in Europe? Is it different because of the things you see, or is it different because of who you were?
No, no, it's nothing like that. First of all, that's a very good question. Thank you. Because I was ready to say why, but sometimes I'm just thinking, okay, don't go too far, Eric. I won't say what I was thinking in my head in English, but you know what I mean. So the thing is, difference between Canada and Europe, for sure, there is a big difference. Why? I will tell you. You know, I suppose most of you, they know Europe. You've been to the Louvre and things like that. Art is different. The vision of the society has a different vision about art in Europe. Why? Because we have too many masters in Europe. And art history is very heavy. So what does it mean? That means it seems I feel that, maybe not, it's not the case, but I feel the room in Europe for young artists is not so big than the room in Canada. Because even if you have talent, I don't expect I have talent. Be careful with that. Even if you have talent, the door is very, very difficult to open. Okay. In Canada, it's totally different. the art scene is way more open than in Europe. I will give you an example. I had an agent in France, and he said, "Eric, I love your work." And he said, "I will bring it to Paris and I will find a gallery." So he went to Paris, and when he came back, he was way disappointed. Why? I will tell you why, and you will understand in a few seconds. Because the guy at the gallery said, "Oh, I like it. He's a good artist. But does he have a name? What does it mean?" So before you go to Paris as an artist, you have to be already famous. But where can you be famous if it's not in Paris? In France, I mean. So that's the point. So in France, you need to be famous to be recognized. In Canada, you don't need to be famous to be recognized. They will give you a chance. That's the difference. You're welcome. If you have another good question like that, don't hesitate. So where I was. So the thing, I came to Canada and I started to paint, and I worked with the Tiger Group at the Studio Gallery for 8 years or 9 years until unfortunately Bill passed away. And so I was a little bit lost after that and by myself. But I continued to paint because some people like the DVSA put their trust on me. Thank you very much, the DVSA, again. And it's the DVSA. It's a very important step for me. It's a very important step for me because that's first of all, it's a school, and I love school because that's where I learn my art. That's where I improve my art, my everything like that. And that's why I have so much respect for schools, art schools. So thank you very much. So any questions? You have another question? So it's what's happened after that. So I try to continue, but as you know, the situation with the COVID and things like that changed a lot of things. And so the thing is, I try to. I was a little bit when after the Studio Gallery, after the Tiger Group, you know, artists, they're very sensitive, and when you have I don't know what kind of expression do you have when you lose your balance, I should say, in Canada. Yeah, when you lose your balance, it's very difficult to go back on your feet, especially when you're an artist, because it's everything is for some people, like usually I like to say some little things, some big things, they look simple, but for artists, especially for me, a little thing I can feel it's very big. Okay. So I after the COVID, even before the COVID, I continued to paint and things like that. And I found some galleries. I didn't find galleries. They came to me and they said, they knocked at the door and they said, "Oh, would you like to work with us? Would you like to work with us?" And I said, "Yes, why not?" But you know, sometimes it's like in a couple, the match doesn't work. And it didn't work. Okay, so the thing is, because someone said to me, "Be careful. You need to keep your freedom." And it seems now, I don't speak about the old galleries because I don't know all of them, but in this time, I'm a little bit concerned by the situation for artists because it seems that things are changing, but I think for artists, the things are really changing. I mean, and I was working with a gallery and I tell them the truth and they didn't like it. I spoke about the future I have some experience. I have a background. I have experience with galleries and things like that. So I just said to the gallery, be careful because something is coming. They didn't like it, but they do what they want. So it didn't work, and I'm still looking for a gallery if you know one. Maybe in Paris. Okay. So I should start with the... Oh, something moved. Okay, let me see. Like that. Okay, so this is the first one of the painting I did in France. Maybe the first one. I don't know. Maybe you say it's a 90 or something like that. It's very academic. It's like something probably one of the first I did. So you can see the light, you can see the perspective, and not very easy perspective. This one, I'm telling you, because it seems to be not three-dimensional, but more than three-dimensional, a little bit more. So this is very academic, and I will show you later the difference between this one and now. You will see how an artist can change during his life. Some of them, they'll never change. But look at, I'm not Picasso, be careful. Look at Picasso, if you know Picasso, the art history a little bit, the blue period. And even before that, before the blue period, he was very academic. And he did what everybody knows, very abstract. So I'm not Picasso, but the thing is, as an artist, in my opinion, for me, for my feeling, I want to change. I don't want to keep the same shoes all my life. I let my brain doing the job. You see what I mean? I have no expectation for my career. I have no plan for my career as an artist. I let my brain doing the job. Okay? And I was not expecting coming to Canada, working in Canada, doing Canadian landscapes and things like that. It was not on my plan, but I'm very happy to be there for sure, because I learned a lot in Canada as an artist. Okay. So this one is very academic. You can see the color, you can see the light, you can see the perspective. I should say the perspective was very academic. The light was very academic, and but the color, you can see they start to change a little bit. They are not real, the colors. I have this skill. I don't know if I should call that a skill, but I work on both. I work on many ways. I use many skills on one painting, on a painting. I use my graphic design background. I use the color that I learned at school. And I learn also, I use also the perspective. Okay? And I try to mix it. Because, I mean, as an artist, in my opinion, you should be academic a little bit. Okay? Not even a little bit more than a little bit. Okay? You have to build something, and you have to know the basics. Cool. So that's what I learned when I was at school. So you can see that one. So it was, just to tell you a little story, it was in France. It's in Dordogne, if you know Dordogne a little bit. Dordogne? Yeah, it's in Dordogne. I don't know. I don't remember the city. So I won't take too long. Don't worry. I'm very chatty, but I'm okay. So that's another one that I did. Probably the first one I did when I arrived to Canada. It was a commission from a brandy company. And they gave me some ideas, and they asked me to do something like that. So that's, for example, as an artist, I think that I'm still speaking about myself, not all the artists. Everybody, you have to stay free as an artist. I don't pretend to give some advices. I'm not like that. I'm speaking about my case. As an artist, I want to be able to do everything. I don't want to do only one thing. I want to do everything. I want to do portraits. I want to do lifestyles. I want to do something very detailed like this. I want to do landscapes. I want to be able to do almost everything, and I can do almost everything. That's what I learned at school. No limit. You have to be ready to do everything. There is no limit for me as an artist. I can do everything. I don't know if it's good, but I put that on the canvas. Yes?
What's that mean?
Acrylic.
Is it?
Yeah, that's acrylic. Yeah. So that's something, for example, that I learned at school, something that when I was doing graphic design in Paris, we learned something like that, going on the details, but doing something like real, almost real. But I don't like to be like a picture. I don't like to copy a photo. So that's the point. I start with something that I can visualize and I change it. But I don't change everything. I keep my background. I keep my academic skills, like the drawing and things like that. I keep the drawing. I keep the light. But the color are different. The color are different. Why? I don't know why. So the things that I learned at school is behind the colors, there are colors. So you have to, when I read colors, I read between lines. So what does it mean? When I see green, I don't see only green. When I see yellow, I don't see only yellow, and all the colors are the same. I see something else behind the color. It's like reading between lines. Okay? So that's where my abstract comes from a little bit. I think my abstract skills comes maybe more from the color than the shape in first. So this is, as you can see, I don't know even if I drank this one. No, I didn't drink it. No. Okay, so if you have any questions, don't hesitate. Yeah.
I just have two quick questions. How important is light to you? Because I feel there's a lot of light coming out of this painting. And how important are complementary colors, which I see in your art?
Alors, sorry, I'm French. I understand your question, but can you repeat again, please?
Okay. How important to you
Yeah.
as an artist
Yeah.
is light? Because I see a lot of light
Yeah.
coming out of this and its positions
Yeah.
where it makes the shapes.
Yeah.
And the second one was how important to you or to me as an artist are complementary colors? Because I see a lot of complementary colors in your art.
I will tell you the truth right
Is it
away.
an accident
Yeah,
or-
yeah, you're right.
Okay.
You know what? I will tell you something. No, sorry,
that?
sorry for no. I didn't say anything. Not yet. So the thing is, we have to be honest. I have to be honest, and I say that every time. You can't explain everything.
Good.
If you explain everything, you're not an artist. I can explain 50% because that comes from my art, that comes from my background, that comes from my study. But the other 50%, they come right to the brain, from the brain. And you can explain what's coming from there. So I will give you some explanation. Don't scare. I will give you some explanation. So the light, when you do art history for 5 years, light is very important. Academy, it's almost only about light. All the masters, if you go to the Louvre, the light is important. If there is no light in the academy, there is no painting. Okay, so that's the reason why the light is so important for me, because that makes the painting, even not the shape. The light makes the painting. If there is no light, there is no painting. So to my focus, the thing is the color, as I said before, the color is the abstract thing. It's the thing that I see. I won't give you an art history or class or a color class. When you go to the school, especially in Paris, it's like wow. So you have to learn this, you have to learn that, you have to learn the complement, you have to learn the colors, the primary colors and things like that. No, it's the feeling. You have that, you learn that, but you don't have to be precise as if you want to become a doctor. I mean, an artist, you have to be free. It doesn't mean because you learn academy, you have to follow the academy. You see what I mean? No, you have the skills and you do what you want. You're free. So I know the colors, I know the primary colors, I know the complement, but that's very difficult to say in English. You will say that for me. But to be honest, it's coming to me. It doesn't. So for example, I will tell you something else. I learned at school composition and things like that. I know exactly. I'm not like, the old masters, Delacroix and all these guys doing composition and things like that. Do you think everybody does that kind of thing? No, it's a feeling. Composition is a feeling. Color is a feeling. It's the part of the real part of artist that you are. And for example, when I see something, I know exactly the balance is good or not. The colors is different because I'm coming back on it and things like that. But the composition, and as Bill said, one time he told me, Bill was very involved, Bill Powell, he knew a lot of things. And he said, I don't know why, but your composition is every time good. Do you know when a composition is good? Do you know when? Bill told me that. I said, Bill, when do you think the composition is good? He said, when the composition keep your eye on the painting. Your eye turn around like this. It doesn't go. It turn around. That's the good composition because it's working. It's working. If the composition is bad, your eye will go. You will leave the painting. So composition is not something that you have to learn and to follow. You just have to feel it. The painting, it's in your eyes. It's in your brain. It's even the composition is in your brain. The brain tells you it's good or not good. I'm honest. Like as I said before, 50% it's you. The other 50% it's something else. You can't explain. Thank you. Thank you. So this one was it's a lifestyle, of course, and it was a commission from a. Okay, go back. Another composition. So you can see that the perspective, the tunnel, and things like that. You can see also I don't know how you call the balcony, maybe. You can see the sculpture. I don't do it. It's not precise, but you see it. There is something. And look at this. So the perspective is right. The drawing is right, but the colors are not right. Why the colors are not right? Because I look behind the colors. That's the way I do it. That's my style, I should say. Kind of. Not all of this, not the whole style, but a little bit. Though very academic. That's why I decided to bring it today, because I just want to show you, some guys, they're doing things, but sometimes you have to show some other things, some old stuff that you did in the past, just to show what's really your background. Okay, so that's the reason why I brought that. And I can do way more academic than that. I can make it as a photo if I want. You give me 3 months, I will do it. No, I can do it as a photo, no problem at all. So, but it's way more exciting to do that this way. A photo, I can take it. I have a camera for that. So that's the start. Alors you can see, if I go back, look at this. It's, as I said before, there is different periods in a brain. Not as an artist. In your brain, there is different period. This is another period. You can see, start the shape. Why? There is a reason why I decided to start to do shapes like that, because first of all, I'm a graphic designer. So it's come from my background. But in art school, we do also philosophy. It's philosophy and art, very connected. Philosophy and art, brother and sister. So the thing is, I'm not a philosopher. I'm not even an intellectual. So you can say things with a big sentence, but I prefer to say things with just a few words. That's what my paintings here is. The thing is, it's my, I should say, statement, telling things, but as simple as I can. Until what? Until I can find the border between figurative and abstract. Where the figurative stop, where the abstract begin. That's my statement. Telling things, but to make everybody able to understand. Figurative and abstract. I want to let them able to read it. That's my focus. And it starts on something like that. Why should I do leaves? Why should I do leaves? I don't have to do leaves, but I still have the colors. We still see the sky. We still see the light. We still see the perspective. But why should I do leaves? Is it necessary to do it? No, it's not. They're here. You see trees. So it's the point. Going as simple as I can. Be careful when I say simple, I put that in brackets. It's not simple. Philosophy is not simple. It's complicated. So the thing is, as everybody knows, as simple as it is, as complicated it is. Abstract is very complicated, but you have to prove it. Do abstract if you want, but prove it. Tell me how you did it. How did you arrive at that point? What's the way? Which road did you take to arrive at something like that? You have to prove it. That's what I'm doing right now. There is a process, okay? And not only on the canvas, there is a process in your head. So I was bored doing details and things like that, and I said, no, you should not speak so much. You should speak, but make short sentences, and that's where I started to make short sentences. Oui, mademoiselle.
Okay, I'll say it in English. Anyway, when you talk about the process,
yeah.
So, is this something where you're starting with your idea, and then over a period of time, you're getting into what you're thinking, putting it on the canvas? Mm-hmm. Like it's not something that, okay, I'm going to, my trees are here, this is there, I'm going to do it this way, that way. It's an actual process mm-hmm. that you're looking to find your painting mm-hmm. as you're doing it.
Mm-hmm. It's my process is this one. As an artist, the idea comes in your eyes. When you walk somewhere, that's the problem, because you still focus every time. Your focus every time. It's exhausting. So that means when you walk on the street, when you go for a walk in the woods, you're like a photographer. Your eye is like like that. And of course, because I have a bad memory, I can't remember things so much. I take pictures a lot. Like a professional photographer, I take pictures and pictures and pictures, because I see things. I'm not looking for something. I'm just looking. I'm looking around. And my brain say, oh, Eric, look at this, look at that, look at this, look at that. So when I drive, I stop the car, I take a picture. When I walk on the street, I take my camera up, I take a picture. I put that on my computer, and after that, I let that, like a slow cook, that's a slow cook. You put that on your computer, you forget it for many years, and you come back on it when your brain is ready. You go back on your library. You go back on your library and you say, oh, wow, this one, now it tells me something. My brain is ready for that one. I see things because I'm getting older. So I analyze the picture maybe in another way. That's very interesting. So the same recipe that you did 10 years ago is not the same recipe that you do today. There is some differences. So that's the reason I let my photos sometimes for a long time in my computer, and I come back on it later because I changed. My brain changed and my experience changed. So that's the way I do it. Is it okay, Joanne?
Yeah.
You're good? My answer is, tell me if I'm wrong. Huh? Yeah. Yeah. Alors, I work from photos, but I choose the photo and I take the picture. D'accord? Because I need to connect with that. So, and that's the part I can explain why I take the decision to do it. That's maybe because inside I feel it. Okay? So you can start the process. If you look at something like that, for example, look at this and look at that, you can see the shapes coming. And maybe these two paintings, there is maybe 30 years. Between this one and that one, 30 years between them. So you can see that's also a slow process. Huh? Don't tell me this one is better than this one. Don't tell me that. Huh? Be careful. I have a pen. I will take your names. So first one of the first in Canada. Yeah, you see that's it's coming slowly. It's coming. It's because as a European, I never been to Canada before. I never been to North America before I came to Canada to live. And you can imagine as a European, when you arrive to Canada, the first thing that my partner, she's Canadian. And she said, I was not, my suitcase was still full. And she said, jump in the car. I bring you to the Muskoka. Okay. So she said that she brought me to the Muskoka and we were listening Blue Rodeo on radio. It was very nice. I like it. So it was the first, probably I was just arrived in Canada with this one. So you can see the shape is coming, but not, it was a little bit I was shy. I was thinking I was a little bit too shy on something like that. You know, when you cross the border, when you cross the ocean, you have to be I was born two times in my life. I was born in France and I was born in Canada. When I arrived in Canada, I was 5 years old for me, even younger than that. I didn't know the place. I didn't know the language. I didn't know speaking. I didn't know what people they were saying. So I was like a 5 years old kid. So something new. So that's coming a little bit more. You see between this one and that one, you can feel the confidence a little bit more. It's coming. It's a good one. Like it. It should be in a museum. Why not? Okay, so this one, yeah, you can see there is something. It's coming. It's coming. It's a little bit shy still, but it's coming. Because you, at the same time, you start over your life. You start over your skills. You start over the way you think. When you move, when you do so much big move, you start over your whole life, and you probably become someone else. That's what I feel. I'm not the same since I live in Canada than I was in France. So it's coming back. Oh, maybe not the right order. So this one, you can see the difference. It's coming. So this one was more about the reflection. You can see the water, of course. And something tells you the water, but that's what I like. People that say, do water. Okay, I don't have to do the waves. I don't have to do the duck on the water. You can put a duck on the water if you want. But for me, that's not, it's just maybe something like that tells me the water. That's what I like when I do art. Like, as I said before, I don't want to tell everything. I just want to give to people I want to let them imagine. I will give you a story, a crazy story. I was my mother-in-law. She's very interested by what I'm doing, but I'm abstract a little bit, so she doesn't have all the cards for that. And I did something like that, and she went to my studio one time. So it was something similar. I don't know. Maybe it's this. Not. It's not this one. So I like it because I learned so much with only one sentence. And she came to the painting, and she said, Eric. So it was something like that. I promise. She said, "Why did you put a garage?" So that tells you everything. And that's what I want. That's what I want. This is what abstract is. I don't do it for me. I do it for you. Do what you want with abstract. Imagine, make your brain working. This is what art is made for. Okay? Figurative, it's okay. But abstract, this is what I like when people say, oh, why did you put a garage? Very interesting, because it was very nice to say that. But I learned a lot with just this little sentence. So do you see the car? No, there is a car in it. Who see the car? Yeah, there is a car there. Yeah, no, in this one there is a car. Do you see the car? That's a Tesla. No, you don't see it? Okay, good. So something else. So that's, as I said before, I like to do everything. I like to do landscapes. I like to do portraits, animals, people. And this is my cats. They are probably looking. They're probably looking to a squirrel, something like that. And even that there were black cats. What I like the most is doing portraits. Do you know why I like doing portraits?
No.
Because you can do light if you want. You can do perspective if you want. But I like to show you the character. I mean, the mentor. I don't know if maybe I will become crazy tonight, tell me. Huh? But the thing is, everybody has, we are all different. If someone asks me for a portrait, it won't be a painting. It will be behind the painting. You will recognize yourself. You won't recognize your hair. You will recognize who you are. You can recognize, of course, your skin, your eyes, your color of the hair, but it's not a portrait. Portrait is not that. Portrait is to recognize who you are. And that's philosophy a little bit, okay? You recognize who you are. I recognize my cat. After 20 years, I know which one is this and that, this one and that one. I know them. I can see it so easily. They're black cats. I know them exactly which one is which one. I did a portrait. The first portrait I did was about my grandma. And when my grandma died, so the portrait was academic and stuff like that. When my grandma died, I said to my mom, I said, would you like the painting? She said, no, I don't want it. I said, why? You don't want it? Because she said, she's judging me. And I don't want it for that. That's doing portrait. It's not about the way he look. It's something else. It's like color. It's behind the portrait. You have to go behind that. It's doing portrait, real one. So that's my cats. They're not still there anymore. So it's a good tribute to them, to see them. Okay, so you can see I do the same light. You still see the light, you still see the perspective, you still see the whole thing. But the painting, the color, the shapes and things like that, they're different, they're moving. So I go further. That's another portrait. So I did that long time ago, but it's the same. What do you read in the eyes? What there is behind the eye? When there is behind the eyes, there is something, but you still questioning, and you will probably ask forever because you will never get the answer, and it's better like that. No answer. It's better like that. You can make your own story. Another story like that. One time a lady gave me a phone call and she said, Eric, I need a painting. Can you come over? I said, yes, why not? She lives on a big farm, and she has acres of wood. And she said, we go together for a walk in the woods because I need that you take pictures. And from the places that I know in the woods where I have some memories about my life, my childhood. I said, okay, I will go with you. You will tell me your story. I will take picture. So we went, I took pictures, and she said, okay, so tell me when it's ready and you will make the delivery. So I made the delivery one day, and she had made big memories. She was living there forever. It was her parents' house, and she was the place was very important for her. So, and I made the delivery, and I put something on I had a blanket on the canvas, and when I removed the blanket, she cried. She cried. This is, for me, this is the way to be an artist. This is what I want. I don't want she cried. Don't put that on the video, please. But she was so happy. That bring her back to the childhood. And for me, this is what I want. I want to give emotion. I want to give some emotion. I want to give you the idea. I want to give you, and make your story. Do it. So this one, I like it too. And that tells me a lot in the eye. And when I see it, I still feel I still have some emotions with this one. So something simple. You can't make a dog as simple as this one. The same border between abstract, everything is in the eyes. You see the 2 dots in the eyes. You have to be careful because maybe the most important thing in something like that is where you put the dot in the eyes. And very simple, but tells a lot. Something else. If you know Hamilton, you recognize the place. I hope my drawing is okay. So that's what's the name of the Jackson Square? Jackson Square. So city with the light, same thing. It's coming. I did that in Hamilton when I was living in Hamilton. So that's coming slowly. Another one, the light. This one, a lot of dark. It was almost like it was almost like a challenge to do that because the very big part, black at the bottom, makes a huge difference, and hold, keep the light up, and that works. Why does it work? Somebody knows why does it work? I don't know. So if you have some explanation, does it work? Yes, it works. Why? I don't know. So something else. So the perspective is the same for something like that. It was a challenge too. So it's moving, not so much, but it's moving. So the thing is, I like challenges. So the thing is, it could be a mess, a total mess, because it seems there is many different perspectives. There is many different points. It's coming from the bottom. It's I think it's a 4 perspective or something like that. There is 4 perspective because there is probably a point there, there is a point there, there is a point there, and there is probably a point there too. Okay, so build a perspective with 4 points. It's not so easy. It's something that you can see, but something, it won't come naturally. You get it somewhere, but it's there. So something else. So the thing is that I like when I do, it's the light, especially the light. And when I was in school in Paris, something that is, sometimes people, they tell you things and you put that somewhere in your brain and you keep it forever. One teacher that I had told us, not to me, but to everybody, when you do something, think about it. When you do glass, think glass. When you do water, think water. Whatever you do, think about it. And that's what I did. When you think glass, you do glass. You don't want, it's something that you can't explain. You have to think about it. Think it's fragile. Think about the reflection. Think about that. When he said that, we were doing metal, but rusty metal. When you do that, think rust, think metal. Don't think about something else. Do it. And that's this sentence I never forgot. That's something that I did in Canada too. I love doing glasses and bottles because they are very challenging and they look very abstract. And that's the thing that I like. I'm very close to the border when I'm doing glasses, because if you take just a part of it, if you forget this, if you forget everything who's telling you it's a glass, it's abstract. There is a few shapes who's telling you, but not so much. So that's what I'm saying, doing short sentences. You do short sentences, a few words. So if I should show you the words, they're there. The words in my sentences are there. This is a word, this is a word, this is a word. Except that, not so much. Very short sentences. Still, if you have some questions, you can ask me. I will be nice, I promise. It's coming again. So it's a reflection. So you see behind, there is not only... So the thing is, it's like I was saying before. I could do it like a photo. For example, you see it's moving. There it's moving. But I could do it as a photo if I want, but it's not interesting for me to do it that way. So the color will tell you, the shapes will tell you it's moving. And you can see also something behind. There is a sky, there is a house. You can read what you want. It's what I like also to do is a woman who's a nice woman who bought a piece of mine said, one day she bought a piece of mine, she bought a painting, and she gave me a phone call a month ago after the delivery, and she said, okay. I said, okay, what's new with the painting? She said, I never do that, but I had to do it. So she gave me a phone call and she said, Eric, I don't know why, but every day I see something new in your painting. It's like a book that you never finish. A painting is that, art is that, there is a story every day. On the same piece, you find a new story every day. And that's continue, and that's continue. So, and it's what abstract is, that tells you a new story every time. That's why I like abstract, because behind abstract, there is some stories. So the light again. So the trees, you see the reflection in the trees, you see the sun going through the trees. And the red light is coming. The red lines are coming. They're coming. So why the red lines are coming? I don't know why, I'm telling you, but if I was a doctor, if I was a surgeon, I would say they look like the spine. They just keep it seems they keep, I don't know how I do it. It's still in my brain, but it keeps everything standing. And there is some other reason probably for that, but I don't know them. For me, it's my graphic, probably my background as a graphic designer. You can see it. It's like okay, the graphic design is still there, and I am okay with that, because this is also my background. So I want to keep who I am. So I try to put that in the pot, and I move it, and this is what it is at the end. I don't want to say, okay, don't use it anymore because, you have to become. No, I use my skills and I keep them, and I build something with all of them together. That's another one. This one is the same. So that's that's the second winter. So you can see winter there. Did you see the snow in first? Yeah. So this is the snow, of course, something very special for someone like me. I almost never seen the snow before I came to Canada. I was born almost on the beach with no snow. But I like the snow because that gives, for an artist, snow is very important. The same, then snow is white canvas. But for example, we had a very good exercise when I was at school, and it was one of the best we never had at school. Not one of the best, I would say. The guy came, the teacher came, and he put only white stuff on the table. The table was white. The portraits, they were white, all the same color. The background was white. Everything was white. And he said, do it. It was a white canvas. But you have to make it. You have to do it. That's very interesting. If you like doing paintings, do it one time. Just take something white, put something white behind and on something white, and do it. Yes?
Do you think your gradual move to more abstract style would have evolved the same way if you just stayed in France?
That's a very good question. You have 2 hours. I will think about it. I should say yes. I don't think so. For the same reason that I said before, the approach, the way they think about art in Europe and the way they think about art in Canada, it's different. I mean, you still feel the academy in Europe. In Canada, as I said before, you feel more free, I should say, as an artist in Canada, because you have, it seems that you have the right to experiment more. And that's, I became I was abstract in France. To be honest, I was abstract in France. I was doing crazy things that I sold, but they were nice. I was burning plastic, burning wood, and things like that. I was working with metal, but still doing that on canvas. It was very interesting. I was an abstract, but different. I was not an abstract I was an abstract in France to express my freedom, not to show it. I was like, a cook in the kitchen doing stuff with new ingredients. I was like a chemist, a little bit more like a chemist. I was more a chemist as an abstract in France. In Canada, I became an abstract, but more not with the same approach, not with the same philosophy. Because I was not thinking in France, do abstract and find a border. My abstraction was not about that in France. I was not looking for a border between figurative and abstract. This statement, look for the border between abstract and figurative, started in Canada. Yeah. So it's a different way. You are a different person, depends where you live. If you live in Canada as a French, you're not the same than when you were living in France. You're different. And in the abstract, your style, your painting, the way you are, the way you think is also different. Because you're not in the same culture. You have to live with another culture. You need to adapt. So you become someone else. Is that okay with that? Don't worry, I'm almost finished. So that's snow. Snow is very interesting. I never did that before. Snow. The same than here. Snow. Very interesting because you see different. As I said before, there is something behind the blue, something behind the green, something behind all colors, and there is things behind the white too. Okay. And the same, if you know, for example, what's his name? The famous shoot. I forgot. Sorry about that. I forgot the name. The guy who's doing only black paintings.
Oh, the French?
Yeah, the French guy.
He's a national treasure.
Yeah, and he's painting only black, but it's moving a lot. And what's his name of this guy? I don't remember. Yeah, he's doing black, only black. And look at this Paul Klee. I've had the same, the blue painting, the same. Huh? It's very interesting. People, they think, okay, there is only one color. No, there is not only one color. There is something else behind that. And you know what? The blue one, I think it's Klee. No, not Klee. It's I don't remember. I have 5 years of art history. Yeah? Good memories. Huh? And the blue painting? And the thing is, people, they're still questioning. And it's good because art is made for that. Questions. They say, it's only blue. I can do it. Yeah, do it. But maybe after 5 minutes, I won't have any question. But the big one, yeah, we still have questions. The blue. Yes. Pierre Soulages. Okay, yes. Very bien. So if you have the occasion to go on internet, go Pierre Soulages, there is a lot of texture in it. The light is that's moving a lot. So the white, for example, the white is not only white. The white is something else. So that's the red lights. They're coming back. The red lines, they're coming back. Water, yeah, I can see water. I don't see fishes, but I see water. And so that's the same kind of thing. Maybe not everybody will think water when I show that, but there is some little things who's telling you. The white lines, very simple, and that tells a lot. You don't have to say everything. You don't have to say everything. You just have to let people think about it. It's another one, same color. I like this one. Yeah, sometimes I'm different. I'm happy to be different. I feel more free when I touch my pen. Sometimes I just think, okay, today you're different. I did a painting in 4 hours, and it was one of the best I never did. When I sold it, it was not even dry. So I did that. My wife, she said, "No, you won't do it in 4 hours. We have to go." I said, and I didn't take a small one. It was a big one. I said, that's what everybody should do. If you want to improve yourself as an artist, if you want to know who you are, take a white canvas, put the timer, and when it's ringing, you leave it. It's finished. And take a big one. Huh? And that's I did some classes for, I don't know if you know non-objective painting. Do you know non-objective? Doing things without thinking. Well, I was sweating that day, I'm telling you, because try to do things without thinking. You know, like the writing automatic. I don't know how you call that in English. It's the same kind of thing. Don't think, do it. And one of the best painting I never did is this one. Challenge, 4 hours, big one. Finish, done. And it was, for me, that works a lot. Yeah.
Do you always do a photograph or do you do plein air?
Alors, if I do that plein air, I wish nobody see me because I'm a little bit, I don't know if you do painting, but you can tell everything. You see what I mean? When I'm doing painting, even my cats, they just feel it so much. They'll leave the room, I'm telling you, because the thing is, it's again something that you can explain because the energy is so strong that you're almost crazy. I mean, when you do painting, you're almost crazy, especially when you feel it, when you get it, when you totally in connection with what you are doing. It's like having a party with your best friend, you know? It's like, yeah, if imagine the best party of your life with your best friend, this is the same kind of energy that you get. And I have that with my paintings. Paintings for me, it's not only put something on the canvas. I should not say that, but it's kind of my therapy. Yeah.
What are you using? Are you using palettes or are you just strictly using brushes when you're painting?
Palettes?
Palette knives?
Oh, no. I use everything, especially brushes. I'm thinking about that, painting with my hands. Yeah, I'm thinking about that because that's it's not, I have no limit with the thing that I'm using. My brush, they are very, because my brushes, they're still alive, but not for a long time. I use a lot. Yeah, I use a lot because I'm coming back. As I said before, it's a therapy. It's also a kind of where I express my freedom. So I can tell you that I'm not like that. I'm just like, I'm very dirty when I work. I'm dirty in a good way. I'm telling you, that's I'm very dirty. I put everything. It's like it's not. I don't like to think, oh, use this or use that. No, it's the connection that you get. Knife, I'm not comfortable with knives. I'm not comfortable because it's I think that brushes, whatever they are, I like brushes. I will finish with my hands probably one day because I think that's the top of the top. using your hands to the painting. And but you have to learn a lot before that, because you have to get confidence when you work with your hands. But yeah, I use whatever I want, because the thing is, it's not the tool that I use who's important. Is, again, it's the connection, the feeling that I get. It could be anything. It could be a pencil. It could be anything. As I said before, when I was in France, I burned plastic. I should not say that. It was a long time ago. I burned plastic. I burned woods. I destroyed metal and things like that. I like that. I have no limit with the thing that I use. I should say, when you work with gallery, so that's what when I came to Canada, some people told me, oh, you're with a gallery, you have to do it on canvas. Okay, good. Because I was doing on wood in France. I was working on wood in France. And I like wood because the thing is, as I said before, the first one, this one, they're scratch. They're scratch. They're in the wood. It's like, I don't know how you say that in English, but gravure. I was using probably knives or something like that, because they are not drawings. It's in the wood. So that's, you see, brushes are good, because when you work with galleries, you have to follow, you have to, walk the line, you see, Johnny Cash. Yeah. You have to walk the line when you work with some galleries. Walk the line. Canvas. Wood? No. Canvas? Yes. Brushes? Yes. Okay. So I will make it right with the canvas and the brushes, but after that, things was coming from my brain. It's my part. So the same thing, lifestyle with, they're just, for example, you can see that it don't see so many details. It's just a few lines. And it's not very easy to do, because you have to give same kind of thing. You don't see only the sunflowers. You don't see only the sunflowers. You can see almost the seeds. You can see the seeds. Maybe there a little bit. You know the orange line there, the seeds. You can feel it. You can feel the seeds. I like it because it's messy but very organized. For example, the composition, as you said before, colors and things like that. You have to find the balance. I mean, you have to be very academic to explain the composition in something like that. I'm telling you. If you have to make a composition for that, good luck. You have to feel it. You can't build it. Art is about feeling. Academy is okay. You have to. But as some people say, how do I say that? I should think about it, because it's important to say that the culture, your own culture is what you still have when you forgot everything. That's what it is. And you have to forget, when you do something like that, if you think academy, you're lost. You will never do it. Or you will do it as a photo, but not as an abstract. Because if you want to do it as a photo, take a picture. But the thing is, here, composition, don't even think about it, because that will take you forever. So just feel it. Don't do it, feel it. Same kind of thing here. So the lines, very simple lines, the water doesn't tell so much things. You can see that. Works almost as a post. The structure. So there is just a few things who's telling you what it is, but the same. You don't have to tell everything. You just have to put all your feelings and you build it like that. And it started to be a little bit more abstract. And I'm not on the line, but in a few years, I hope I will be on the line. I will walk the line for sure. I hope so. Because it's what I want to do. And that's the last one. So the same kind of thing. So that's, it's the same when you do, so you can imagine, of course, it's a cat, okay? No, but I mean, you don't have to do the guy who's doing the hair. I knew a guy, he was amazing. Huh? He was even better than a photo. He was from another planet. Because one day he showed me a picture. He was taking 3 years to do a painting. That was taking him 3 years to do a painting. And the guy one day, he called me and he said, come, I want to show you something. So it was wood. I don't remember the still life. It was wood for sure. And he said, look at in the hole. It was a worm in the hole. Alors, that's just to show you, there is some people, they go even further than the photo. So that's the last one. If you have any questions. So we can have the breakfast now.
Eric, do you ever work in collage? Is that an interest to you? Because there's often when I see your paintings, there's almost like these strips. I see strips of paper and things like that.
If I draw them? If I draw the lines?
Yeah, but also just I see very like the influence of collage and working in that way because you almost like there's strips of paper in my mind when I see them. I'm just curious if you're interested in collage. Do you ever experiment with it?
Yeah, I would like that because there is a lot of collage, very interesting, especially the cubism. They did some. And no, but some people said more like a guy called that fragmentation. And he said, oh, I have to find you a name. I have to find you a name. What? My name is Eric? No. To develop a new skill. Yeah, I will call you fragmentation. I said, yes, maybe for you, you keep it. But yeah, you're right. You're right, Kier. Yeah, you're right. That's it could be that. Yeah, I never thought about that one. The collage is a good thing. Yeah, it could be that for sure. But at the same time, some people they have said, looks like stained glass.
Yes. Yeah. The mosaics too.
Stained glass. But if you think about stained glass, you simplify things. It's very. I mean. Not maybe, yeah, even if you go back to, Notre Dame or some places like that, maybe not the new ones, but the old ones, they are maybe, they keep the old ones, I think, they're still alive. And the thing is, stained glass, you can be very details, but yeah, stained glass, and that's interesting, I mean, because why not? Maybe one day I will take one of my painting and I will do it like that. It could be interesting, but for something like that, I would like to see how it looks. But yeah, paper is an interesting thing, and I like it because it's a big part of art history, paper. And at the same time, something like that, it could be also stained glass. So it's probably 5 years art history, go back on the books, of course, you were not born without your father and mother. You see what I mean? It's the same as an artist. You don't go on the planet like that. You get some influences. And, but I don't want to be like as I said before, I don't like to say that. My brain use everything that he knows, that he learned to build something. I don't want to do things like Picasso did. I don't want to be like Soulage, or I don't want to be something like that. For me, art, as a person, it's like when you're cooking, you take I do art the same than when I'm cooking. I take basic ingredients, and after that, I wish you would never come to eat at my if I cook, because you can come, you're welcome. But the thing is, that's I take the basic when I cook, and after that I say, what's in the cupboard? Okay, take this, take that. That's the way I'm doing painting. So why not one day using paper? I didn't think about it, but yes, but I feel so comfortable with acrylic, the medium, because it's something that I know for so many years. At the beginning, I was working with oil, but oil is a little bit challenging for me, because when you want to be fast, you have to use acrylic. If you want to be fast with oil, good luck, because it's not made for that. Acrylic is perfect for me because I work with my instinct, and sometimes I need to be fast. As I said before, the best way to do something is put the timer and do it. It's a race. It should be a race. So this is the last painting. Not the one I did, but the one on the slideshow. So if you have any questions.
Do you have anything to say about the paintings you brought?
Oh, yes, that's right. So what should I say? So the thing is, the same kind of thing. You see, that's... So I work on a new series. I like, because the wine is very interesting, because wine is very interesting because, as I said before, you see more things in glasses and bottles. I love doing landscapes, but landscapes doesn't tell me so many things. Glasses and bottles, there is so many things to read behind that. Not as a photo, but as an experience, because you can see things that you will never see in a landscape when you do something like that. For example, there is some things there. You have to use more your brain when you do something like that. You have to use more your brain than when you do landscapes. Landscape is I won't say you do what you see, but brings you more things. When you do something like that, you have to be very careful, because it's a landscape is almost done before you start it. You can see the paintings even before you start it. You can see it. If you're very comfortable with your skills, you can see the painting before. That's why sometimes I board with landscapes, because I know what it is before the end. At the beginning, I know what it was, what it will be. So after that, so that's why I like to doing on the timer sometimes, because it's like giving more interesting things. When you do that on timers, with landscape, yeah, that's very interesting, because that comes better. It's better. The result is way better when you do it on a timer. And I try to improve that. I try to make it, but you have to be very good to do that, something like that. For example, the non-objective that I did, the class, 30 minutes to do a painting. 30 minutes. I'm way behind that. 30 minutes should be enough to do something. if you do it with your something like that, I should say it's more abstract, and I should say it's more graphic, but you can easily fall down with something like that, because we were speaking about the composition before, but that's very challenging doing something like that, because you have so many shapes and things like that. It could be messy, but it has to stand. More you make it complicated, as I said before, more you make it. You remember the big sentence or the small sentence, the short sentence? The sentence is almost too big. But you have, because if I should make it as simple as a landscape, you would not read so much things. So because reflection is something it's not only the light, it's also the reflection. So you have to build it. And it's the same for this one. But this one, you have less reflection, I think. But the same. It's this one is maybe a little bit more not so challenging than this one. But at the same time, you have reflection and the different black, different gray, different blue, and things like that. And the composition is a little bit more simple, but be careful. Simple doesn't mean not complicated. Something simple can be, usually the very simple things can be very complicated. And these landscapes, I love this one. It's I don't know why, but I think that works. And it could be very I had many questions when I did this one, because I was lost there. I was totally lost. It took me way too long to do this kind of thing, because I was thinking, okay, I'm done. It's because, and I don't know why, but sometimes the lights comes on, and that's what I like as an artist, is when the light comes on, because the thing is, you don't know where that's come from. The light is on, so that's why I'm done. I'm not painting outside, because sometimes the light comes on, and I don't want to scare the nature. You see what I mean? Because when the light comes on, she comes on. Even my wife. That's why I have a window in my door. She knows exactly when she can come in. In my studio. So that's something. It's working, but as I said, you can't explain why it's working. I could say, okay, guys, I have 5 years art history, composition. I will tell you everything. If you have an hour, I will explain. No, I can't. It's working. Even this, very small things, that makes a huge difference. But it's a feeling. Again, art is a feeling. It's not a composition. Yes?
Is that painting more recent than the one behind you, or vice versa?
Alors, I don't know. Shoot. Probably the same period. Yeah, I think it's the same.
Did you go back to this one?
I go back a lot.
Yeah. This one you left it.
What do you mean go? What do you mean by go back?
It's just what I see in this painting looks like you deliberately went back in with that green. But with this first one behind you, it's freer.
Yeah, I came back on this one. But this is like, when you cook, your meal is better the day after.
Yeah.
Never tried that? You cook, you leave it for 3 months in the fridge, and you eat it. And it's better. There is more mushrooms on it, but it's better. Yeah, so the thing is, yes, that's what's said also. I don't know who told me that. I think it was Bill, maybe, who said, do it, leave it, and come back on it. But it's not a choice. So that's why sometimes working with a gallery, I used to work with a gallery, and the person who was owning the gallery said, oh, I need 20 paintings in 3 months. Okay. And I did it. But as I said before, sometimes the connection doesn't work. But I understand the gallery 100%. If I was owning a gallery, I would be the same. But it's very difficult to find the balance between an artist and a gallery, because we don't see things the same. Because as you said before, do you leave it? Yeah, you have to leave it. It's like a cook. When you cook something, it's better the day after. But the thing is, the problem with the gallery, they don't give you the time sometimes to do it. And so that's why, as an artist, you have to think about, how do you want to be? Do you want to make the delivery even if it's not dry? Or do you want to leave it for a few weeks and come back on it? In my opinion, when you come back on it, it's way better. Because something that you do right for the first time, I don't believe it. I don't believe it. You have to come back on it.
It's not an original question, but how do you know when you're
I take only original questions, sorry.
How do you know when you're done? When you, for example, one that's really abstract, how do you know when you're finished?
That's a very good question. Thank you very much.
Mm-hmm.
You know when a painting is finished? Do you know when a painting is finished?
You can't look at it anymore.
When you sell it. When it's sold, the painting is finished. Before that, the painting is never finished. When you sell it, it's finished. It's not yours anymore. That's the only way to know it's finished. So yes, these two paintings, yeah, same period. This one is, I came back on this one too. Yeah, as I said, there is no way you can do something in one time. In my opinion, it has to cook, slow cook. For me.
I have a question. So it's finished when it's sold. If you sell a painting that is part of a very distinct series to a collector, a very serious collector.
Collectors are only serious.
Yes. And you go, do you think it's okay to go back to those other ones that were part of that?
Oh, you mean to knock at the door and to say to the guy, I will touch it? You come to the guy and said, oh, you bought that for that price? I have my brushes. I will finish the meal. That's a good idea. That's a concept.
But to go back to the pieces that you still have and further develop them, do you think it's okay to do that? Oh, yeah.
Can you repeat, please? My brain was off.
You have a series of paintings, and a collector takes one away, buys it. Is it okay to go back to the ones that you haven't sold and further develop those? Or is that collector going to think that, well, I have this piece from that series, and that series is a whole. But yeah, it's different. The series is a little different now because the artists worked further on those.
If you touch it, it doesn't mean it's better. What's good? What's good? It doesn't mean because you come back on it, you will make good things.
No. But I just wonder if it's okay.
So we will do philosophy. What's the good and what's the bad? The yin and the yang. You don't know? You don't know. You will come back. There is no, you can make a mistake.
Okay, this one painting actually that the collector bought, he bought one particular painting.
Yeah.
It remained in the exhibition for the duration of the show. However, somebody vandalized it while it was hanging with a sold sticker on it. And so I had to tell him what happened. I restored it. There was no physical damage. It was somebody took,
Yeah.
and it was the type of painting where you could disguise, work those marks into the painting, and it's fine. But because it changed that little bit, he didn't want that painting anymore. So I almost lost that sale. Thankfully, he took another from the series.
Yeah.
But that's how picky some collectors can be. So I wonder if I were to work on the paintings that are still unsold and take them further, would the collectors who have bought from that series be bothered that the rest of the series has changed?
Yeah, I see what you mean.
But you could argue that they weren't finished because they weren't sold.
Yes, that's a really good point.
Thank you very much. You saved me. Hey, don't forget, I'm French. I'm francophone. No, I understood what you said. So, yeah, but that's the same kind of thing. It's when a painting is finished. No, is it the same kind of idea?
Well, I think that what you've said, that it's not finished until it's sold.
Yes, exactly. Yeah.
Can really apply to this situation and something to carry forward, I think, where a little bit of protection and insurance there if you do want to go back, because it's right, nobody owns it until it's sold.
Yeah.
And you can do with it
The
what you
artist,
want.
and the artist can do what they want with it.
Yeah.
Yeah, they can destroy the painting if they want. But the thing is that if someone destroyed the painting, but that happened a lot in the museums and things like that. But it doesn't change the. I mean, a collector does he collect because he likes art, or does he collect to? How do you say that in English? Yeah, because there is also different kind of collectors. There is some collectors they are buy art because they love it. And there is some other collectors, they are buy art because they are put. Yeah, it's a strategy, for them. So there is different ways. There is different kind of collectors, I should say. So everybody's different, even the collectors.
Yeah.
So that's maybe some collectors, they will like it. Because if you get some damage, if it's, because what's about the value? Because you said before, insurance company, maybe look at the banana with the stick on it, with the duct tape. Do that, sell it to a collector. The guy will put that in the garbage right away. But look at this, goes on internet. And look at the value now. So if there is some damage on the painting,
It adds to its story.
yeah, it gives something. You see what I mean? There is a story that adds something to the story. So there is different kind of perspective. You see what I mean?
Yeah, that's what I felt, but he didn't see it that way at all. He didn't like it.
Yeah, because he was buying probably for. Yeah, I the same. A collector is like is exactly the same than an artist. He works with feelings. If he doesn't buy for investment, he is like an artist, because when you spend so much money on a painting, that's because you get feelings. You know what I mean? It's the same then when you're doing it. It's the same kind of. We are not so different. And not only collectors. Everybody. It could be a collector, it could be someone else. Imagine you buy a painting and the guy came to your place with his little boy, 5 years old, the pocket full of markers and things like that. And that's the same kind of thing. I don't think in that kind of story, you don't have to be specifically a collector. It can happen. Everybody you don't have to be a collector to get feelings with the thing that you get. But
I think you should look at it this way. It's his loss for not buying it.
Well, he bought the other one that's
Yeah.
the same size, so
But
it was okay then.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, did you do it because you think, okay, you will buy another one? No, sorry, it was a joke. I'm French. I have an excuse. Don't touch me, please. So, if you have some other questions, no, you're too shy.